Hello, and welcome to another
to the Lume Plotters. Lume Plotters.
The Lume Plotters.
Lume
Riveting
Plotters.
Lume Plotters.
Lume Plotters.
Lume
Plotters.
Plotters.
Yes.
Now, is it more like
So,
Lume Plotters?
it's just the two of us this time, yes. Although we should start with, we got into such a good conversation with Omar last time. He sent us a WhatsApp that he forgot to mention two of his
partners in
coworkers,
crime,
partners, friends, organizers that helped him with the event. So he felt bad because, of course, he didn't mention these names. So we will shout them out, or Ralph will shout them out.
Absolutely. Samuel Danho and Ahmed Godot. I'm sorry if I butchered the name, Ahmed. Ahmed Godot and Samuel Danho, who are the partners in crime for time zones. These three, Omar Kabani and, of course, these two gentlemen organizing time zones together. And listen, I mean, we already spoke about it, what's happening, but
for those of you that didn't listen to the previous podcast, essentially, there is going to be, during Dubai Watch Week this year, a secondary event right next to it in the, which hotel is it?
The Armani Hotel in the Burj
Hotel.
Khalifa, which is literally 5 minutes foot. I was a bit more optimistic. I thought 2 minutes, but it's 5 minutes according to Omar. He must have measured it from the event where the Burj Park, where actually the Dubai Watch Week this year for the first time will happen. 5 minutes foot walk time to the Burj Khalifa entrance of the Armani Hotel, and then there will be a ballroom full of these micro brands, and also some of, I mean, look, this Dubai Watch Week is also fantastic for straps because you have Jean Rousseau at Dubai Watch Week exhibiting, and D-Lugs. Ken will be there, so if you want to talk to Ken,
I will talk to Ken. I'll give him a piece of my mind.
Really? You have pieces of mind?
I have nothing to say about
no,
it.
that's
I have nothing bad to say about D-Lugs.
I spoke to him before. He's a lovely person, and they're doing a fantastic job. But they will be there with a sort of small boutique shop-in-shop basically there, so you can buy some straps there as well. And of course, I just want to remind you, the list of brands is still growing. There will be more released short of before the event. And it is an event where you can actually purchase things. And as Omar said, there are micro brands that need to finance they're financing their exhibition with the sales they make during the exhibition. So that's important that we show them support and buy something if you like it right there, right then, so that they have can come to the next one.
Yeah, but if you don't like anything, don't buy anything.
I don't know, of course. I'm just saying, if you like something, buy it right there, because then it also makes the entire event a success, and the next event.
I'm assuming blindly that you're not actually receiving anything there. Like, it's not like you walk out with a bag of stuff.
You might, yeah.
You might.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Of course.
So this is once again. We'll talk to Omar again, closer to the date, so we can clarify these things. But. I was thinking it would be cool if you could physically go and they had some stock with them to sell, but otherwise they might just ship things to you.
You do. So some of the things have to be made. I mean, if you are obviously saying you want to have a custom specific watch made for you, then this won't be something you can wait for.
Obviously not, but
there are always some that they have, of course, for the exhibition, and it's a 2-day event only. That means you have the chances that the watchmakers don't want to go home with their watches, so you will be able to sell them. Everything they're exhibiting probably, or not everything, but a lot of that might be for sale. So that's a very, very good thing.
Yep.
Be early.
So, and being that, we discussed this whole thing with micro brands and independents, and we realized that Ralph and I don't have any micro brand watches. I don't know if your Norcane is called a micro brand, because you still have your Norcane. Do we call it a micro brand?
That is the question. Is Norcane a micro brand when they are being available in shops worldwide?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't think so. I think that this is, again, Omar did enlighten us with his definition of what is a microbrand.
Yeah, but even that was still, but there's no 100% right answer.
There's the thing. It's still a bit of like, it depends. Everybody, there is no official definition of what is a microbrand. But you have a micro wrist. So what are you wearing?
Oh, yes, micro wrist. Yes, I'm not wearing my Pelagos this time.
No.
I'm wearing its little brother, the Black Bay 54. And all I do, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, is I alternate between the Black Bay 54 and the Pelagos, and that's roughly
So you became such a Tudor fanboy.
I don't know where this came from. I was always a Tudor fan. I was always a Tudor fan. However, I guess I just was always drawn to my Rolexes, and it took me selling the sub to appreciate the Tudors, I think. Because, this is one of the things we talked about this with kind of, is it necessary to have these heavy hitters? Well, essentially, some would say a sub could be a heavy hitter. Some could say it would not be, but nonetheless, for me, it was still a big chunk of money tied up in one watch, right? It was nearly 40K tied up in one watch. So by selling it, or of course, when I had it, I felt obligated to wear it. And I don't think that you should feel obligated to wear any of your watches. I think if you feel obligated to wear something, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, I think that's generally correct. I'm also a big fan of the Tudor brand. I'm a big fan of their watches. I had so many. I think I've had more than 10 so far.
Probably me as well.
Yeah, so more than 10 Tudor watches. I sold my last Tudor watch to you.
Yes.
With the hopeful outcome, we'll know in 1.5 weeks if there's something filling that specific point or place in my collection. If that doesn't happen, then I'm probably in the market for another one. By the way, I'm wearing a Grand Seiko.
Oh yes, you are.
SBJG. By the way, if you combine letters, dear Grand Seiko, if you're listening, if you combine letters SBGE, SBGA, all of this stuff somewhat rolls off the tongue, even though it's weird letters. But SBJG is very
SBJG. Yes, it is.
SBJGJG, blah. It's very hard. 211G. And that's the high beat GMT. I love it. And it's now on, not a deluxe strap. The deluxe strap went to the Glashütte Original, but this is on the Hodinkee strap. Everything is in orange at the moment for me. Don't know. Even, and this is funny, even my keyboard, oops,
it's
no,
orange.
I have to show you that. Even my keyboard has orange keys, right?
I see it. Yeah. Yes. Is it one of those mechanical keyboards that goes taka 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 taka?
Yes, it is. It is what is it called? It's a Keychron.
Keychron, yes. I wanted to buy one. I don't, because right now I have the Apple keyboard, the wireless one, and I'm just, I don't know.
They're not bad.
I love the taka.
I do. I had one back in the days when I was still mostly working from an office, and I had this one which I thought I will go all out. I want taka, and I want the loudest clicks possible, and I got them, but it was so loud.
All your coworkers
everybody
hated
in the
you.
office complained and said, if this guy's hacking away, we cannot focus on anything else. So
I love it.
I then got one which I still have, but it's in storage in the basement, which is also has the nice feel, but is the most quiet one. But it feels exactly the same, and it does some soft clackety, but it's very you can't hear it very far away. So it's like the best of both worlds, but nothing beats this old IBM keyboard style clackety. Yeah. It's just very satisfying to type on them.
I love those mechanical keyboards. So I've been wanting to buy one. So yeah. But
do it.
But the Apple ones are freaking. I don't even know how much they cost.
They're not cheap, but they're also very good. And the one thing that I thought with the Apple keyboards will absolutely bug me was that they have so little travel. right? They don't travel as much as the big.
This is the previous generation with the, I kept the ones with the AA's.
With the batteries.
So I could just swap out AA's. You don't have to charge it.
I might still have one lying around somewhere.
So, this is, I like it. But then my laptop has the butterfly keyboard that they had for literally like 2 years, and then they discontinued it.
Yeah,
and
because
that has
this
zero
was
travel.
so little travel that when you had, just some flint, or if you had breadcrumbs going in underneath, it would just not work anymore. So it's a bit.
So I had to do this. My space bar got clogged up with a piece of breadcrumb or something when I was eating once, and it took me quite some time to get it out. And otherwise, I couldn't use the keyboard.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's the problem. You can't hose it down with a high water pressure.
Yeah, let's hose down the whole freaking laptop. Genius.
Yeah.
Now
I'm IT support. So
yes.
Did you dunk it in water? Then maybe you just do it.
I decided water was too harsh, so I used bleach instead.
Yeah, very good. It's much softer. Or
exactly.
So I have a big conundrum. I have to talk to you. I haven't talked to you about
it. A conundrum.
A conundrum. So my problem is I have been contacted by the person I bought my Daytona from. And he said, listen, you need to buy an AP. And I said, yeah, I can't buy an AP because I promised you I won't sell the Daytona, right, for a specific time frame. But I have to sell the Daytona if I want to buy an AP. So and he said, no problem, I'll buy it back.
Same price you paid, or?
I don't know. I guess we have to figure that out. But I am assuming similar prices. So because I got it for a good price under market value, right? So I guess he might just take it back for the same price. And he already has somebody who is selling a very nice 2024 AP Royal Oak Offshore. So now the question is, do I want to?
Yes, you do. Because I think your freaking Daytona, you overpaid like crazy. I mean, in the sense that, yes, it was under market value. However, I don't think the Daytona is worth that anywhere near.
That was on my
100K.
pro side of this, right? I mentally made a pros and cons list, right? As you do. And on the pro list was for the AP is like, you're getting a 40,000 Swiss franc watch for way lower than that.
Yes.
Right? So you're getting a very high-end watch for under retail, which is still an AP, chronograph, flyback chronograph, 70 hours power reserve, so in-house movement. And you're selling a watch that is trading for usually it's like 60,000. What is that in 40,000 Swiss francs?
65,000 dirhams, I think.
Whatever, 12,000 Swiss francs. So it's a completely different level.
I think it's up to like 15 now, but yes.
And basically for similar price, I mean, of course, I have to add a bit of cash, but
you always have to add a bit of
not
cash.
Much. So I was thinking, wow, that could be really, really cool. But it is, of course, a chunky watch. It's a 15 millimeter tall watch.
I wouldn't even think twice.
Yeah.
Because I honestly do believe that you've had the Daytona. I don't think it's worth spending that much for a Daytona. I've said that before. Daytonas are cool. However, they are not horologically much.
I'm with you there. But the problem I have is that the market for Royal Oak Offshores at the moment is relatively soft. And the question is, will this continue? I mean, it's not that I'm super focused on value retention.
Yeah.
But this watch has probably lost 70,000 dirhams already on its office value, 70 to 80,000 when I buy it for the price that I have in mind. And that's a lot of money that this watch lost from its retail value.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to.
I don't know.
I think you might lose a little bit more, marginally, but I think we're pretty much at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to watch prices at the moment.
Yeah.
Some other ones will come down some more, but I think once you've lost about 50% of the value.
Yeah, I think that's the
most you're going to go down.
Where you are. I mean,
that's how it used to be, right?
Yeah.
It used to be that you buy a new watch, you're going to lose 50%. Yeah. And that's how I think it should be.
That's pretty much the retail profit margin, the distribution profit margin, everything basically. This is basically the price it rolls out of the factory. right? So that's not the profit margin necessarily of the producer of the watch, but from everything else, taxes, what have you, right? I mean, look, if you buy a watch in Europe, you have to pay 20% VAT. That VAT goes to the government. It doesn't go to the producer, to the shop, to anybody else. So that's 20% already gone from the value of the watch that nobody has a benefit from, except, of course, the government doing hopefully good things with it. But that's already 20%, right, of the value being shaved off. And then you have the profit margins of the shop that want to take 20%, 30%, who knows, maybe even more, depending on what watches is. And then other distribution, logistics cost, and what have you. And then you are basically at 50%. So that's exactly right. 50%. My problem is the Daytona, I am with you. I also, after owning it, I don't think it is worth the price it's being traded at. But since it's the only way I got it, because I don't have a relationship with an AD that would get me that kind of watch, and it's still worth it after me wearing it, and it's still on that level, right? It's still a market price. So that's why I'm saying
I just don't know. I mean, I still think that, once again, the Omega Speedmaster is a direct competitor for the Daytona. And the fact that one is
half the price.
Retail half the price,
yeah.
Is just ridiculous. So I think, frankly,
and the retail half the price has just been increased. Did we talk about it? No, we didn't last episode, because it didn't happen last episode. Omega has increased the prices
again.
Yeah,
good thing I'm not buying an Omega anytime soon.
Let me show you, because that is something we have to mention. So again, so I'm in this conundrum to finish that topic. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Should I jump on it? I mean, of course, the deal is not yet finalized. We still need to talk to the seller. We still need to agree on the price. We still need to see how much I will get for my Daytona. And this is something I was content. There was no problem in my life watch related. Everything was fine. And now I am in this mind-breaking decision-making, should I not? And it's just consuming you, right? In a good way. It's fun still. I mean, I can just say like, no.
Exactly. It's something to think about. It's something to pass the time. Yeah. You can watch a million reviews in the meantime.
Yeah, exactly. Which I already did. So obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, what I wanted to show. Omega watches. Unfortunately, that's a problem. I am, of course, not on, because of my work VPN, I'm not on the UAE website.
Yeah, I can share mine.
Yeah,
I will share mine.
You do that, okay, yeah.
I will do that.
Go.
I will. I get to share. How do I do this? Spotlight for everyone? What does that even mean? How do I there it is, share. I don't know how this.
So what I wanted to mention, I am going back to my screenshots that I took, of course, before this was announced. Go to the Moonwatch.
You can see? Yeah, you can see here?
Yeah, go to omegawatches.com.
Omega Watches. UAE.
No,
all right.
Just Omega Watches. This will automatically go to your website.
Yes, I know.
And just go to Speedmaster. Click on Speedmaster. Go on Moonwatch. And go on the white one on the top left, just the white.
I like
with
the black one. I always go for the black.
Because the white one I have the price from before. Just go on this one, because then I know exactly what the price was before, because they're slightly different, white and black. So it's now 35,900.
Let's go to the black one. The regular ones. The Hesselite is cheaper.
Just 3 days ago.
Is this Hesselite? I can't tell.
Hesselite is cheaper.
Once again, where does it see? Oh, 30,000.
Yes.
So yeah.
It's 30,000. That's the Hesselite.
So 30,850 dirhams. I think that is still half the price of the Rolex Daytona. I don't know, Rolex Daytona.
Yeah, but
price UAE.
So what I wanted to do was tell you how much it increased. So
okay.
If you go back to the white Omega Speedmaster, please. So that
35,900.
was 38,900. 35,900. It was before 32,400. Yeah, it increased by a juicy $1,000 basically.
Meanwhile, 63,000 buys you a Cosmograph Daytona.
$950. Now think about it. How much did you pay for your Unimatic?
We'll talk about the Unimatic.
Yeah, see, but my point is that is the price increase for this watch is a
but if we look at it, so it is now. If we compare apples to apples, I don't know which one we would compare this the Hasselite, or would we compare? Where am I?
Well, even if you take the most expensive one, here's 36. We have 36. Not the Hasselite.
No, Sapphire Sandwich in black.
In white, 36.
I would say 35,400. So
okay, then it's 35.
So and 63,450 for the Cosmograph Daytona, which I don't think is justified. Yeah, you get a little bit of ceramic here, and an automatic rotor.
You can argue that it's not justified. It's automatic, 70 hours, versus
roughly.
What, 60 hours and manual?
50
you have
50 hours.
Better water resistance, I think. No, actually, both have 100. No?
50 meters water resistance.
You have
yes,
meters
I believe
on this watch? No, you can't. No, it's not master chronometer.
Master chronometer.
It's manual.
It is.
And not 70 hours. Is it? It is master? Okay. Well, then at least there you have the same amount of, let's say...
I still maintain that this is a better looking watch. I think the Speedmaster is a better looking watch than the Daytona.
For me, every time I put it on my wrist, it left me a bit cold, but the Daytona didn't. So that's why I have a Daytona and not a Speedmaster. But I think in general, if you like the Speedmaster...
Yeah, but go for it used.
Absolutely,
obviously.
Go for it.
You don't want to pay the redonkulous prices.
Yeah, the price is very high. I mean, if you think about it, 6 years ago,
I bought it for $13,000.
Probably both of the watches were half the price.
10 years ago, $13,000. The retail was 16 at the
discount.
time.
Let's say the retail price was
doubled.
16. Yeah, so it's basically now nearly doubled. But same happened to some of the other watches. I mean, okay, let's say an OP.
Now it's like 25, and it was used to be 18. You would get it after discount. 30. Retail was around 20 something, 22. So it did not increase that much. Same thing with the Daytona. The Daytona also didn't increase that much. I remember it was around $60,000 in 2015, and it's still around $60,000 today. So surprisingly, meanwhile, this.
What did increase?
Yeah.
So of course, all of the gold watches.
Anyway, as Ralph so eloquently pointed out, though, I did buy a new watch, and that was because, or I should say, I ordered one. We talked to Omar about micro brands and all this good stuff, and I decided I have never had a micro brand. I should buy one, and. In this, of course, I was always, the micro brand that I always found interesting was Unimatic. We've talked about Unimatic a number of times on the show. Two guys from Italy that made it. They make some really, really cool stuff. They made, 4 original models, essentially the Uno, the Due, the, what is 3 in Italian? I don't know, the 3. The tre, is it? Tre giorni is tre, okay, fine. And then the quattro.
Tre giorni,
and essentially, each one is slightly different. They now have a cinque as well. The cinque is a 36 millimeter field watch. So essentially, what was strange about them is, regardless of the size, they all use 22 millimeter lug width. Which, imagine having a 36 millimeter watch with a 22 millimeter lug width. It's redonkulous, like how chunky it would be. It would almost be like tonneau shaped. But nonetheless, their first watch with the Uno was a dive watch.
Yeah.
The 300 meters water resistance they originally had Seiko movements, NH35 movements in all of their watches. All of their watches have no dates, which is cool. I like very much. Then the second one, the Due, was a field watch, 38.5 millimeter. Then they came out with the tray. Do they have it? What was the tray? I forgot. the chronograph. They had a Mecha Quartz chronograph, and then the Quattro was essentially a beefed up field watch at 40 millimeters. And then the, as I mentioned, the Cinque or whatever it is was another field watch with 36 millimeters size. So they made a bunch of cool stuff, right? And they make a bunch of cool collaborations. They're roughly about $500 to $600 if you just buy a regular plain one. Now, of course, I wasn't going to buy a regular plain one because that's me. So I was randomly on eBay, and I do have a search set on my eBay to alert me anytime there's anything with the word Hodinkee that pops up. And sure enough, I saw a Unimatic X Hodinkee pop up on eBay. Excuse me. Still coughing. So essentially, it pops up. I look at it, and I had no idea this even existed. I'll pull up a picture for you, Ralph, in case you forgot what it looks like. It is a U4, which is the Quattro.
Yeah.
But apparently, it is a Quattro made out of carbon fiber, which is ridiculous. It's this forged carbon fiber, which has the kind of like the strands all looking at it, all interweaved. So it has the Hodinkee gray dial, and I immediately saw it, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. And it was originally $2,200, which is nuts for a micro brand of any sort. So Hodinkee before this did make a similar Unimatic with a stainless steel case, and that was around $900. So this is quite a big jump up in price. However, it popped up on eBay for, I think it was $800, $795. And I looked at it and I'm like, wow, that's pretty good deal. So I was, okay, we need to see who the seller is, right? Because that's the first thing I always do. I check the seller. And it was Joma Shop, out of all people. And I said, holy hell. So let's screw eBay. Let's go to Joma Shop's website and see how much it is there. Because every time Joma Shop lists on eBay, it is significantly cheaper on their website. So I went, and sure enough, $725.
Yeah, these are the
exactly
the fees of eBay
so,
are also
$725. And then I had a $20 discount code, which if you search, you can find a $20 coupon code. $705 I paid. And then I ended up paying, I think, $140 in DHL Express shipping to UAE with prepaid duties and everything all included. So I ended up out the door to my home, $840, I think it was, which is 3,000 dirhams for those that are counting, for a watch that was originally 2,200 plus taxes, plus shipping, plus, right? So it was an insanely good deal, and it was still cheaper than the regular Hodinkee Unimatic collaboration. So naturally, I did what anyone does. You bought the watch, and you're like, let's start watching YouTube videos. So I started watching YouTube videos. And I knew that this one was upgraded. This one and the previous one that Hodinkee made, they updated it from the Seiko NH35 movement to a Sellita movement. So Swiss made, cool.
Yeah,
it's not a bad movement by any means.
35 is a good
but you're
movement.
for $1,000, you're not a problem, you can do better, right? For $500, I think the Seiko movement is perfectly fine. Then the Hodinkee version was $1,000 nearly, and then I see they put a Sellita in. But I watched the review and I froze and I shook in my boots, right? It had a ghost date position on the crown. So the Sellita movement that they chose had a ghost date. And essentially it was the date movement version of the Sellita SW200, which is the 1A. And we don't know why. So I messaged Ralph in a frenzy and I said, because the other one, the one that I bought, said 1B Sellita movement. So I messaged Ralph and I'm like, does the Sellita 1B have a ghost date position? Because for $2,000, imagine paying $2,200 for a watch, plus taxes, plus everything, and getting a ghost date. I would literally like smack somebody upside the head if that happened.
Have you explained what the fearsome ghost state actually is? Is
you
it
want
a
to
ghost
explain?
in
Go
the
ahead.
machine?
You explain
What is it?
Yes.
So, okay, I explain it. So basically, a ghost state is when you put a movement in that has a date disk, and you put it in a watch that does not have a date disk or date opening. So what you do is you put the original movement, you remove the date disk.
Now this is too far, but you can remove the date disk, but some really cheap watches don't even do that.
Yeah, maybe they even leave the date disk in, but the problem is the same. When you actually pull out the crown, there is an intermediate position, because usually you shouldn't have a date setting position in a watch that doesn't have a date. But you will have not two positions for the crown, but three. So you have the normal one for winding, the first pull out, which is the date, and then the second one to stop the second hand and set the time. And in this case, then you have this immediate position, and that means that at 12 o'clock, right, there will be at 12 at midnight, there will be a switch of the date, and you will hear or feel that little click. And of course, in a watch that doesn't have a date, you don't know if it's AM or PM. So sometimes you might feel a click on your wrist, or you might hear the click at 12 o'clock at noon in your watch that doesn't have a date. And of course, you have these two positions in your watch. And I think all the movement makers do produce, of course, watches where this date is eliminated, and not just remove the date disk, but properly eliminated. All the extra technology for the date switching mechanism is removed from the movement, and it doesn't have this intermediate date position. And this is possible to purchase from the watch manufacturers. With Sellita, it's the SW200-1A with date and B without date. And it doesn't have
which I'm assuming it costs more to go for the no-date variety, because...
Not necessarily. It really depends. But if you have minimum order quantities, or if you have gotten a really good deal on a specific model and you don't want to split it up into different ones because you don't know if you need them or whatever, and the benefit is you can use the date version in a no-date watch.
Yep.
But you can't do the other way around. So that's why a lot of companies save a few bucks and just use.
Well, it's strange once again that Hodinkee did this. So I was fearing that we had that they said 1B, but there was some miscommunication somewhere, because on the Hodinkee website it just says -1 for both watches, but on the Unimatic page it said -1, not 1A, just -1 for the stainless steel. And then it's a -1B specifically for the carbon fiber one. So once again, no idea. So I got a little bit, there's only 250 of these were made.
Shocking.
And frankly, I don't think any of them sold, because I don't know how many of them went to Joma's shop, but there seems to be quite a few, because I saw on Reddit a lot of people were buying them at this price and everything. But at $700, it's nearly as much as the cheapest Unimatic on the market, which now you're getting carbon fiber and a Swiss movement and the no-date movement. So it is significantly a better deal than buying a regular one. And it looks awesome. I mean, I'll put up a picture on Instagram of what it looks like, but it is a really stonking good-looking watch. And then the carbon fiber, just the way the weave glows in the light, it plays with the light. Nonetheless, I did what every normal, respectable watch enthusiast would do, and I found one for sale on Analog Shift. And I messaged Analog Shift and asked them to check if it had a ghost date position. And Analog Shift, for those of you that don't know, is a watch reseller. They do really good stuff. They have some really, really nice watches. And they came back to me like an hour later, and they confirmed. They said, yeah, there's only two positions. Then at the same time, I also commented on Reddit if anybody knows, and somebody did say immediately, yes, it only has two positions. So apparently for the more expensive carbon fiber, whoosh.
Thank God Martin doesn't get the ghost in his watch.
I do despise the ghost.
Oh man, it would be such a drama. We would have to listen to ghost.
Yes, and at the same time, of course, Ralph has also bought a Unimatic.
Well, yeah, that was a couple of.
You didn't
I'm just checking when that was, and that's
say anything.
quite a while ago. Well, because I don't have it. It was a project watch from the Caliber Watch Club in March this year, and our president Alex or Puli, he went and designed a watch together with Unimatic, and it's called the Desert Sector. Yeah. And it's a limited edition of 20
Is it 20?
pieces,
I thought it was
and
50.
we are getting it in September. No, 20 pieces.
Where is it? Here it is.
Yeah, 20 pieces. It also has the Celita movement in it and also no date, so it will be hopefully also the B version. And we paid 1,000, I think it was 1,100 euros for that. Yeah. So that's for our, and this is what absolutely is fascinating about micro brands, and I mentioned this in the episode with Omar. The let's say the openness to actually entertain these kind of small run watches.
20 pieces.
They are out of order watches, or here in this case 20 pieces for a watch club. This is little stuff that cost them a lot of work and money to do. I mean, obviously these are 20 pieces, and we are paying, let's say, 1,100 including shipping and taxes and stuff. So that's
not a small amount of money.
Euros,
in addition,
it doesn't make not a small amount of money, but it doesn't make anybody super rich, because the profit margin is, of course, well,
these two watches, by the way, could not be
or something
more different. It's ridiculous that it's the same watch. You could tell it's the same case. You could tell it's the same strap, but everything else is. I'll put up a picture of yours as well.
They will.
So this is Caliber Club is what, your German watch club?
Yeah, that's a German
my apologies.
exclusive.
I don't know who Puli is, but Puli designed it.
It's the one without hoity-toity. We say hoity-toity in German.
Yeah, they ate the potato. They ate the potato for sure.
But it's same name as hoity-toity, which means it's not non-snobbish.
So who's Puli?
It's exclusive but non-snobbish. So Puli, Alex, is the president. He is one of the foremost experts and collectors of Chopard watches. He is the founder of the club, and he is his background is
very so. For those of you that want to audibly want to know what mine looks like versus his, mine has the dial of a Submariner.
Mine cannot disclose this. Still secret.
I can't post it.
You have seen it.
I'm not going to post it. Okay, I won't post a picture. I will lightly describe what it looks like. Mine looks like a Submariner, and yours would have looked like a Submariner had it had the original dial. But yours is like a sand color with a sector dial, and the strangest thing that I think would have cost the most or been the most difficult to do here would be hollow hands. The handset is hollow, which is super weird. No lume anywhere to be heard about.
Yes, I am the Lume Plotter, and I bought a watch that has
of those.
zero
Not a big
lume.
deal.
Can you believe this? But on the other hand, I mean, my Grand Seiko I'm wearing today has also zero lume.
But I'm excited to try a carbon fiber watch. And
but I think especially Unimatic, I think they have a reputation for doing really good lume as well. So they are.
There was
really
one
nice
version of this carbon
plotters.
fiber one that was I did make a bid on eBay, and then it was a cheeky bid. I think maybe my $800 I put in, and it was there was 150 pieces of a limited edition Friends and Family edition Hodinkee one. And it was nearly identical, but it had a white luminous dial. So the entire dial was luminous and all of the markers were black. And I don't like that as much as I like the color of this one. However, the fact that it said on the back, not for sale, Hodinkee Friends and Family or something is what it said on the back. And the fact that they were selling for so cheap on eBay, and this was exactly when Hodinkee was going under, it just shows you the morale that was going on at Hodinkee. Like anything you had that was worth anything, people were selling, which I think is absolutely hilarious. Oh, 100%. They're like, distance ourselves as much as possible. Let the ship go down. Let's make as much money out of it.
It's just like, sell everything. Look, can we, just like in the office, can we peel off the wallpaper? Can we sell it?
And I bought this watch thinking to myself, I have one titanium watch, obviously, which I really like. So, I mean, the carbon's going to be even cooler. And on top of that, it's perfect for cycling. I mean, it weighs nothing. And I got a Bond NATO strap, and I got a gray NATO strap coming for it. So both of them, I think, will look both very nice. So, Unimatic, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, the shopping is ongoing, right? I mean, you have ordered it, so that means
yes, it shipped. But the problem is, I'm traveling on Monday, and DHL tells me estimated delivery date Tuesday.
Oh,
because if it comes in time, I will 100% take it with me. But right now, it's in Cincinnati. So it went from New York to Cincinnati, and there I think it goes to Dusseldorf. I believe is where the DHL, DHL, right?
What is it, DHL or DHL? I think
Cologne. It is Cologne. It is Cologne. Yeah, it goes Cologne and then Cologne, Dubai. So I don't
maybe
think
it's
I'm gonna
Cologne.
get it.
I don't know.
But nonetheless, doesn't matter. It'll come when I come back from vacation. Now, there is a few other watches that we wanted to talk about that I will mention here. Now, of course, we talked about our both buying an independent / micro brand, which I think is very nice. Now,
yeah. And look, I do actually. I must admit, I do have a micro brand, and I forgot to mention this.
I don't know. Did you?
Did I mention it? I have the DUG. I have the DUG.
Is it
it's the Deutsche Uhrenmanufaktur Glashütte, my Duggy. So they haven't even sold 1,000 watches yet. So they're still selling the first 1,000 pieces or I think that's what they do, of their Purist. And so yeah, it is a micro brand for sure. I mean,
it doesn't feel like a micro brand, right? Like
you can't be more micro than that.
I guess so. I don't know.
Because the watch is so nice.
To me, it just seems like another
and so
big
distinguished. It just looks so. It looks so proper, right? Usually we think from micro brands that they are a bit more funky, that they have very extraordinary, weird, or acquired taste design sometimes. But this one is such a distinguished, let's say, a mature watch.
Yeah,
that
to be
you think,
a first
this can't be
watch,
possibly a micro brand, but it is, I think. And I hope they will be established soon. So
let's see,
or get into the established level. So we will see. They are launching a diver watch soon, and they have already shown on some of the watch meetups, which is the cool thing. Again, the CEO of the founder of the company goes to watch meetups and shows watch enthusiasts some of the prototypes that he's working on and gets the feedback from the crowd and says like, okay, what do you think? What do you think about this hand, these hands, and this case, this dial? And then, he gets this feedback and then takes it back to his workbench, basically. And it's this is really, really cool stuff. They hired 3 watchmakers now from Glashütte Original, most of them. So they took some of the brains from there. So that means they are assembling the watches proper. As you know, they might eventually work maybe even on in-house movements in the far future. Who knows? I mean, this is really cool stuff that these micro brands can do if they are successful and if people buy their products. So let's see. I hope it will be very successful. And it might not be my last.
It might not. So I want to talk about a few other watches in the meantime. Okay.
So, okay, before you figure that out, what you want to talk about, let us say that there is some content.
What kind of content?
Let me quickly share.
What content? What do you want about? Oh yes,
yeah.
I watched the trailer for this, but it didn't tell me much.
You said you don't know what to watch, watch content on YouTube. You're running out of watch content on YouTube, and I said, well, I just saw minutes earlier a teaser. And the teaser was for A Matter of Time. So Andrew McCutcheon And, he is one of the three masterminds behind About Effing Time. And About Effing Time with Adrian Barker from Bark and Jack, and then, of course, George Bamford and Andrew McCutcheon. These three were About Effing Time. So that stopped. But obviously, Andrew McCutcheon thinks we need that format. And most of the videography was done by Marcus, who works for Time and Tide, so for Andrew. So he basically must have thought, you know what, we can continue this format. We like it, we want it, and he did. So that means Marcus is still behind the camera, or the creative director. I don't know exactly what he does. And Andrew McCutcheon has assembled a team of, himself and two sidekicks.
And they're not randomly small people either, right? So...
No, they're very carefully and very smartly selected bunch of people, which I must say I'm very excited about to hear this. This is the lineup. We have to start with a lady because there's a lady in this, and that is fantastic. It's Eleonore Picciotti, and she is formerly from Revolution. Now she works for the 1960 company and for the Eye of Jewelry. So she has this dual role. So she is, she appeared recently with Jack Forster and on 1916, having a discussion about watches. And I love her. She's really fantastic. We spoke to her on Dubai Watch Week last time. She's really a fantastic watch person. And then there is another host, a Scandinavian watch extraordinaire from Denmark, Christian Hagen, which also a lot of people know because he's a very outspoken person with a lot of interesting opinions. So I think these three together will be.
I have to say, I like Andrew. I am 50-50 on Eleanor. There's been stuff she's made that I've liked, and there's been stuff she's made that I've absolutely cringed at. And Christian, I follow him on Instagram. He's obviously an insanely cool guy, but I've never seen him do any, video stuff. So, it
will be very different from About Effing Time. So it is no more too many swear words, and it won't be. You know what I found with About Effing Time? Sometimes it was.
It was, and mostly driven by what's his face, George Bamford. I'm sure
George,
he does.
But George has ADHD. I think he's open about it or something. What was it?
Adrian has dyslexia.
So there's a lot of.
I don't know what Andrew has, but they all have their own vices, I guess.
Yeah. But, lots of very, very successful people have dyslexia or ADHD. So that's all fine. What I'm saying is it doesn't hold you back. It can be even sometimes, maybe a benefit. But my point is it was a bit all over the place. It wasn't too streamlined. It was sometimes a bit too loud.
Yes.
And I think this is a bit more refined. I don't think we will see
I talked to Andrew about this, and I told him that I didn't like the fact that About Effing Time was trying to be a podcast. However, 99% of it, they were pointing at things that the listener couldn't see. So I couldn't figure out, am I supposed to watch the YouTube video? Am I supposed to listen to it as a podcast? They referred to it as a podcast, but it was in fact just an hour-long video. And if it's an hour-long video, generally speaking, you don't sit down for an hour-long video.
So the thing was, I thought it was very entertaining. I really enjoyed watching it. It was a bit like this Top Gear for watches. So very funny, not going into too much watch-related details, but having challenges and doing all of the stuff. But that's also one of my biggest criticisms of Top Gear in the later years was that it was only about comedy and only about challenges and all of the stuff, and the whole car content of actually reviewing cars and talking about cars went away to a certain extent, and it just was about just driving a shitty car around some African country or so, which is fun and it's interesting, and it's an interesting challenge to go through all of the different obstacles, or driving somewhere with a 100-pound car all fun, but it was a bit less reviews, competitions to a certain extent, with the guests and interviews. I think that was always very, very entertaining. But hey, that was just me. I think probably they have learned their lesson, and A Matter of Time already has the polish. We just saw the teaser, but has the kind of polish that I think is continuing from the first bits and pieces, that it will be quite nice. And again, in a very different, more, let's say, relaxed way of talking about things without being shallow. I hope.
Let's see.
But let's see.
All right.
Mm-hmm. And of course, I love that there's a lady in it. I think there should be more female people in the watch industry in general. Eleanor, I think I'm a big fan. I think that's great. So yeah, let's see.
We will see. So now I do want to talk about a few things. I'll share my screen. There's a few watches that came out recently that I think we need to discuss, talk about. How do I share my screen again? Yeah, I don't remember.
The same way you did it before.
A few watches. I mentioned this in the last episode. There's this new watch that I think just looks so cool. It is also a micro brand called L'Aventure. And tell me that doesn't look cool. I don't know what I'm looking at, but it looks cool.
Okay, it has for me, it looks like the case is a 1-to-1 copy of the Piaget Polo or the Atelier Venn.
No. It's called the Marine Type 3 chronometer.
And it has the tiniest, it has the biggest bezel in human history.
But look how tiny the actual dial is.
To be honest.
Because the other thing I'm guessing is a rotatable bezel.
Exactly.
Or if this is somehow rotatable, then the dial is only like a quarter of the watch. But nonetheless, it is made out of grade 23 titanium. I didn't even know there was a grade 23 titanium, but apparently there are.
There is a grade 2, a grade 5, and grade 2.
So this is grade 23 or 2-3 or whatever you call it. Has an acrylic dial, fully loomed, which is always cool. Sellita SW300. And it costs, I don't know if they show it here, 4,200 Swiss francs, which is insanely expensive. It is.
Yeah. So for me, that is something.
If it was 1,000, I would say, okay, that's kind of cool, right? But I don't know who is buying this, right? So we had this whole thing about micro brands, right?
Yeah.
I just don't know who this is for. That was my thing. Once again, as a micro brand, we said this. You can start up and have.
So does it have this? What is this little thing that they're holding up? Is this
soft iron lower plates,
special shielding, Faraday cage, soft iron cage? Yeah, okay. See, my point is soft iron cages and all of this stuff. This is old.
It has a plexiglass crystal, so I'm pretty sure they're going for old tech on this. Plexi crystal.
It has a what? Oh, right, yeah. But my point is, if you have a modern movement, you don't need this, right? Because
reasonably,
modern movements are already by design anti-magnetic. You don't have to have a Faraday cage on it. I mean, look, my Overseas has that, but it has a soft iron ring around the movement to keep the magnetic things
It's
away.
cool though. I don't know. I like the way it looks. It is 38 millimeters side to side, and it's got a 46 lug to lug, which I think is super. It's cool. It is.
It is much smaller than I thought it would be.
Anyway,
from what I'm
there you
seeing
can see how small it is on this guy's hand. But it is a good looking watch. I'll put it on the Instagram. But I'm not too sure who will pay out the money for this. Maybe it'll end up on Joma Shop.
So L'Aventure, where are they from? And so what, can you go back to the movement there, and maybe can you full size your screen, because I'm struggling a bit. So it is something that you need to see. So take a look, Google for it, L'Aventure.
SW, once again.
So yeah, that
1B. Now we know what the 1B means.
300. Okay, that's a good. 1B is probably, what is it? Center
1B
date?
is no date.
No date.
Center seconds, no date.
Center seconds, no date. Yeah, and it's the newer version with 56 hours of power reserve. That's why I think it's a B version. It's a slightly improved version from Sellita, because that's basically a 2892 ETA based watch without a date and with the enhancements from Sellita. So that is now 56 hours of power reserve, nearly 60, which is good, because the original 2892 had 42 hours of power reserve. So you get an extra 14 hours. So that's always welcome.
So what is L'Aventure? Kickstarter brand. Kickstarter brand turned micro brand.
Yay. But they're saying it's COSC certified, chronometer certified, and 100% Swiss made. That, of course, drives up the price. So if they used a rubber strap, then it's very likely.
Which you mention, you don't forget to mention every single episode.
Which I mentioned before. BV. We had a German salami snack, and I think we still have, which is called Beefy. It's like BV, just with an F instead of a W. And Beefy muss mit. It was always the slogan that you have to take a Beefy with you if you're going out, because it was, well, everybody has to have a salami when they're going out, on a hike or so. Yes, have to have a salami.
Now, we talked about this, but I mentioned this briefly in the last episode, so I felt the necessity to talk about it a bit more because I thought it was just uniquely cool. I would pay $800 for it for sure.
See, that's the problem. I think, but then you won't get a
I don't care. Give me a SW200 Sellita, as long as it doesn't have a ghost date. But the titanium is cool.
But this is the challenge with I think with some micro brands, that in that price range, for that amount of money, you can buy so many things. And now, if you think about, I mean,
4,200 Swiss francs, which is however many dollars.
To 5,200 Swiss francs. So that's about $7,000 at the moment.
$5,200.
Yeah. 4,000. Sorry, 4,800. Yeah, $5,300. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So that is a lot of money. And I would say for that price, for $5,200, you can buy so many other watches. And if you now consider what you can buy pre-owned for this amount of money, you are. I mean, look, I
shared the video on our
yesterday to shoot
stories.
the video, which is and I saw this Breguet, right? It's an incredible Breguet with a panorama date and just unbelievable, with hand-finished guilloche on the dial, solid gold with an enormously golden clasp and golden keepers. That watch is so heavy, I think the value of the gold in this watch is probably more than the watch is costing in the auction. It is just insane. And it's at the moment at the starting price of 32,000 dirhams, and nobody bid on it. So that's about, I don't know, under 40,000 dirhams, 36, 37, I think it is. So about $10,000 gets you a solid gold Breguet, and it's in absolutely spick and span condition. Maybe it's slightly polished, I don't know, but it looked like a brand new, super crisp. And I can't believe that you can get a watch like this for this amount of money, and then you can, and others trying to sell you $5,000 worth of watch, that is just not.
Yeah, I agree.
That value is just not there. You know what I mean? And that's where I find it very tough for companies like this and on Kickstarter. No. So have you looked at the Kickstarter? Because that would be interesting. Have they actually reached their goal? Are they close to reaching their goal?
It was a Kickstarter brand. So now it says it's a micro brand. L'Aventure.
Okay. So they have, this watch is not on
not
Kickstarter
L'Aventure
anymore. Okay.
But we want to go to the
they have their own website.
right?
That's cool. Oh, they have a universe. I like watches that have a universe. They must have somewhat, because they now have multiple watches. Sorry if I'm
no, I agree entirely.
The negative Nancy here, but I think it is just. I mean, look, for everybody who loves the design, great. I mean, they have one watch. If you look at the Marine 2, if you go onto their website and look at the Marine 2, where I see now it's laventure.swiss.
I put in .ch, but there it is.
.swiss, not .ch. But yeah,
it's
so
cool.
if you go to collections,
I like it because it's so dark.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. But the other watches I do like, if you go to the Marine 2.
This one up
just
here?
A bit more.
Or this one down here?
No, that's a submarine.
I don't like it.
We don't want to go to the submarine. We want the Marine 2. So that, for example, no, but you don't like it. That's fine. But this is as a rose gold dial, sandwich dial. And that's where I think, okay, that's something special. That is something where you think, all right, that's
sold
not
out.
Normal. That is something out of this world that has a new design, 99 pieces, integrated bracelet. That's pretty interesting. It wouldn't be mine.
And they put the hallmarks right there, the Swiss
dial,
hallmarks
so
right on the
special
on the dial.
On the dial, yeah, not on the underside. It's right there on top. It's similar to what Omega does with their ceramic,
exactly.
right? Where they put the ZRO2, the zirconium ceramic stuff on it. Yeah, but hey, at least they have very interesting watches. Even though I don't like the one that you showed me necessarily.
That's the only one I like.
They have a couple of other ones.
But anyway, all right, moving on from L'Aventure.
Yeah, okay.
To
fine.
That's
a good thing about watches.
We wanted
Everybody
to talk about the Tudor Pelagos, the new Tudor Pelagos FXD Chrono Yellow. So essentially, they had an FXD Chrono Pink already, right? And they had an FXD Chrono Red.
Mm-hmm.
The FXD Chrono Red was the original. They called it the cycling, right?
Yeah.
And that was their cycling carbon case, red, black and red stripe, black and red accents. Then they made a pink version. So for those who don't know, Tudor has a pro cycling team, and they are a continental team, which means that they are not an intercontinental team. So they generally only do races on in certain events, right? So the way, for instance, the Tour de France works, which is an international event, intercontinental event, that you have, if you're an intercontinental ranked team, you're automatically in. If you're a continental team, like a European or an American team or wherever, then you have to essentially have a lottery. You either get in or you don't. But you essentially put your name in a hat and you might get in, you might not. And this year, for the first time, Tudor cycling team has gotten into the Tour de France. So to celebrate this, they made a black and yellow version, because yellow, of course, is the color of the Tour de France. They made a black and yellow version of the FXD carbon cased chrono. And of course, they made a pink version of this earlier. Limited to
so can you buy it? Can you
pieces,
buy it?
I think so. No, it's limited
because it's not on their website.
300 pieces, right there. You go.
Yeah, but it's not on a website. And can you where can you buy it?
It is not on the website.
Maybe it's already sold out.
But the pink one also, I think, was limited. The pink and that was for the Giro d'Italia, where the leader wears a pink jersey. So nothing new here, but it is yellow. And of course, they can't call it the Tour de France because Tour de France is sponsored by Tissot. Meanwhile, every other cycling race has now become sponsored by Tudor. So in the past, almost all of cycling was sponsored by Tissot. And now, for some reason, only the Tour de France remains sponsored by Tissot. Everything else is sponsored by Tudor. So, ergo, they couldn't use the term Tour de France, so they just called it the yellow.
Is this still a watch that is a single loop?
It's an FXD. It
Can
has
go
to be.
up so that I can see
Single
it.
piece black fabric with yellow stripe.
Single piece black fabric. Yeah, but they could also, even if it's a single piece, they could or
they could sew it onto it. Yeah,
but they could make these straps that go around or so. That are two pieces. You know, you can do that. There's ways about it. But on the website and the press releases, we don't see anything about this. The last one is the Black Bay Chrono Carbon 25, which is a carbon fiber racing chronograph. So basically taking the same B01 Breitling derived movement that Tudor updated with its own regulating organ. It's the two subdial chronograph with the date at 6, which they have then put in a carbon case. That's the last chronograph one that is new and not the FXD. Interesting. So they have not really mentioned this in their press releases. So this is basically just a big stunt. 300 lucky customers will get this watch. I guess it's some of the VIPs who have already a lot of Tudor watches in there.
Yes, I think.
Or purchased will get that offered. I recently saw one of these this chronographs, the normal chronograph, not the FXD, the Black Bay chrono, and at Timepiece 360 just yesterday. And I must say, it's still a very, very nice watch. So if you're interested, and if this episode is even in time, there you can get lovely one for, at the moment it's listed for 7,000 plus fees.
Yeah, compared to how much it
ridiculously
goes for
this watch, because it's
I think over 20
for right now 20. They are very, very expensive, or have become very expensive, right? And this was the reverse Panda, which is relatively new, right? I don't know when the black and the white version came out, but it's not that far out.
Hold on.
It wasn't.
Let me see the variations. 23,000 dirhams.
See, it still says new on the website for
maybe
the white
they changed something.
one.
I'm not sure, but
no, I don't think so. I think it's just.
But look at this.
It's just
look at this.
new as for this line. That's the newest edition.
If you want steel and gold, you're at 33K. That's crazy. That's a lot of money for a Tudor.
Yeah. It is. I think, and this is not even solid gold. It is gold capped. So you have a couple of millimeters, still better than plated, right? So I think the pushers are solid gold. I think the bezel is solid gold, but everything else is capped, which has a couple of millimeters of gold around. It's still good. I had the two-tone GMT, the Black Bay GMT, and I loved that watch. But then during a consolidation, it had to go. But now, can you go to the Black Bay GMT and look at the two-tone version of that watch? Because I recently...
Which one?
Since I've sold it 1.5 years ago.
Okay. No, I just wanted to check real fast. If you're looking at the FXD chronos in carbon case, it's 21, which does not make any sense.
Yeah.
It's a carbon case. Why is it less expensive than the same movement? So carbon is less expensive than the stainless steel.
Well, I mean, if you ask some watch manufacturers, they will tell you like, no, carbon is way more expensive. But then others will say, well, look, Breitling uses bright light and puts their cheapest watch.
So, yeah, of course.
Right, the quartz watch. So not so sure, right? Sometimes it's a bit like, is
Black Bay GMT.
So yeah,
in steel and gold.
Yes, correct. And then
25,350.
Steel and gold, yeah. And how much is that? Wow. Wow. Yeah, that is wow. Yeah, I paid 17.
It's not cheap.
I remember.
All right, moving on. We got two other things I want to talk about.
Wow, this is $2,000.
We are overtime, so let's go
now.
quickly. We had an episode about summer watches, so I feel it's only appropriate that we see what a brand calls a summer watch, because now Baltic has released the Hermetique Summer Watch Collection. They literally call it the Summer Watch Collection.
Yeah.
And as we said, bright colors,
they have listened to our
rubber
episode
strap.
and said,
and that's what we said.
Bright colors.
And there you go.
straps,
That's exactly what they did. Bright colors, rubber straps, 4 different colors. I'm colorblind, but it looks to be a yellow, an orange, a blue, a turquoise, and a pink. Am I correct?
Yes, you have a bright yellow, a bright orange.
It's a good look. I'm not complaining. It's a good looking watch. It is. And I'm guessing the price is
really nice. I like
reasonable. 550 euros, which is that's great.
Oh, yeah, that's
I'm not
really
sure
something
what I would
with
wear
some
it
Yota
to.
movement in it, but yes.
I think it
What's
was.
the size?
It's the same size. I'm guessing 37. So I have
37. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know which
universal.
one I would get.
It's fun.
None of them are.
What I found interesting on my Baltic Aqua scarf that I had for 2 weeks, while I liked the design of the watch, I liked most of the things about it. I just didn't.
Yeah,
like
which we talked about.
Wobbly stem, which is not an issue. It's not an issue per se because it's still stable, but it was a bit of a letdown for me. But I didn't like the funny enough this rubber strap and the especially the pin buckle. I found it a bit uncomfortable. It was too sharp on my wrist, and I put a different rubber strap on it, which with a better keeper, and it just worked better for me. And that was a bit surprising because it looks so comfortable, and it wasn't.
And once again, if you don't like these bright colors, which I don't, you can still buy the normal colors, like the khaki and the brown and the blue and the other green or whatever.
Yes, and they are nice in.
And I'm guessing the price is the exact same on these as well. I'm
pastelish.
blindly going to guess 550 euros.
So generally, Baltic are very good value for money.
Yeah, but usually it's
cool
just going to be
design.
and the design looks great, absolutely great.
French.
Also, they apparently made a dual time version of this, which I don't understand how it works, but it's a dual time version. So what, you use the left crown to...
Yeah, you have to be careful with some of them. If you just have a 12-hour internal rotating bezel...
kind of, you could tell a second time.
Yes, technically it's like, yeah. It's basically like the GMT, the Explorer 2 fixed bezel, where you just have a 24-hour hand. In this case, you have a 12
bezel, yeah,
our inner rotating bezel that you can just turn.
I'm trying to see if they say anything about it, but
12-hour time, and that's of course a very cheap way of doing it.
So the Miyota 9093
watch is also not very expensive, which is cool.
That it is using is it the same as the regular? Yes. So they didn't change the caliber. It stayed the same.
Let me see.
So this means there's nothing fancy. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's just the internal
All right.
Thing that
in the same vein. The last thing we're going to talk about is this thing, which I think is super cool. What do you think about this, Ralph? It is the Hamilton Khaki Field Mechanical Zermatt edition with a textured dial, they say.
I think the textured dial is nice. I think the applied is a bit busy, the dial. I think they could have gotten away with not using the 24-hour, numbers on it. But it's a nice field watch.
It has a nice picture of Zermatt.
Can't complain.
Not Zermatt on the back of it. It's Zermatt. It's exclusive edition. And guess the only place you can buy it. In the Zermatt Hamilton store.
In Zermatt.
Apparently they have a Zermatt Hamilton.
Oh,
and it is not
how
limited,
many of them will
but it is only available at the Hamilton Boutique in Zermatt, Switzerland. And the price is the same as the regular Hamilton khakis. Yes.
No,
I think,
nice.
This is something that you would go there and if you know about this,
if
you'd pick this up for fun.
Oh, totally. And Zermatt is not a cheap location for ski holidays. So if you go to Zermatt on ski holidays,
and this would be a cool little
impulse pick up a
souvenir.
nice Swiss watch. Yeah. Which is what a lot of people did with their swatches, right? When you are at the airport of whatever country you just visited, and there's a swatch shop, and they have some unique watches for that country or the city that you're in, you pick it up. And this is for people in Switzerland,
so,
you can spend a bit more money.
Cool. So,
very nice.
Anyway, there we go. I think that's enough for a day of random stuff. But we have discussed quite a few things today. So
we did indeed. So thank you for listening, and thank you for being sticking around for 1 hour and 15 minutes.
Bye-bye.
And we hear you next week again. Bye-bye. Thank you.